Today on Locked On Red Wings, we're going to talk about the fact that Moritz Seider is finally a Calder finalist and which of the Red Wings goalies got the best grades this season.
You're Locked On Red Wings, your daily podcast on the Detroit Red Wings, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Welcome back to the Locked On Red Wings podcast. We are your hosts, Brian Fisher and Scotty Bentley. Scotty also hosts over at Locked On Tigers. Thanks for making Locked On Red Wings your first listen every single day. We are free and available wherever you get your podcasts. Scotty, on today's docket, Wednesday morning, the NHL has been slowly trickling out their finalists for each and every award. It was only a matter of time, but Wednesday morning we found out that indeed Moritz Seider is a Calder finalist, along with, to no surprise, I don't think, Michael Bunting and Trevor Zegras. That's where we're going to lead the show off today. Then segment 2, we're going to get into beginning our goalie, or not our goalie grades, but our team grades. And we're going to start with the goalie core. And then if we have time, we'll do a little bit of how do you feel about it Friday, but we got to figure out, feel it out and see how good these conversations are going here in the first 2 segments. Scotty, to lead things off, though, back to the fact that Moritz Seider was officially named a Calder finalist for Rookie of the Year. We've been saying it for weeks on end, months on end at this point, that he's a no-brainer for a Calder finalist. And he's honestly, and I think seeing the finalists, the feeling still remains a no-brainer for the trophy as well.
Yeah, it's still like seeing who the finalists are doesn't change anything in my eyes. He's still the favorite comfortably. And not only that, I think he should win it unanimously. I don't think anyone else should receive a first place vote. I don't think anyone else deserves a first place vote. I don't think there's an argument that anybody else in the entire rookie class and neither of the other 2 players that they chose for finalists for the award deserve a first place vote. I think it's as easy as that. So I think you just, I think, Zigras tailed off. I'm sure we'll talk about some old people jokes in here as well. And just no one else. And it's not even a slight at the competition. It's not even a slight at Bunting and Zigras. It's just like Moritz Seider was just him. I don't know what to tell you. He was just comfortably better than everybody else.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, we've talked about it so much at this point, but the fact that he's officially announced as a Calder finalist, I think it is important that we discuss it. But like I said, he's got to be the favorite. And I mean, if you look at the other 2 finalists, Michael Bunting and Trevor Zegras, again, like you said, not to take anything away from the fantastic seasons they've had, Michael Bunting, it is what it is. He technically falls within the scope of what is considered a rookie, despite the fact that he was taken in the same draft that Cal McCarr was taken in, and that not Cal McCarr, was it Nathan McKinnon in 2014 was different Colorado Avalanche player,
right?
But was the 2014 Calder champion. They were born the same year, the same month. 8 years later, Michael Bunting is now Rookie of the Year, and I have some interesting.
Wild.
It's wild, and
wild.
I think I sent you the screenshot. Somebody on Reddit posted, how narrowly eligible Michael Bunting is for the Calder Trophy, but eligible nonetheless. And here are the 3 things. To be Calder eligible, you need no more than 25 games in a prior Major League Pro season. That, when they say prior Major League Pro, this was written back when the WHA was still a thing.
Right.
Bunting played 21 games in 2020, 2021, so narrowly escaping the 25 max. No more than 6 games in 2 different Major League Pro seasons. Bunting played 5 NHL games in 2018, 2019, and must be 25 years or younger on September 15th. Bunting turned 26 on September 17th. So just like a few games, a few days here and there, and all of a sudden he's not eligible for the Calder. But all that aside, he is still eligible for the Calder Trophy. But I think, Scotty, that no matter how you slice it, his age is going to still play a factor in the voting. He has had a phenomenal year. I mean, he had a 60-point rookie season. He
No,
had
he had a
63
great year.
points in 79 games. But he's also the same age as Dylan Larkin, the captain of the Red Wings. So I feel like it's almost more fair to look
What, a
at
6-year vet?
a 6-year vet who had 69 points this year. So this is a man who's in the prime of his career, basically, as a rookie. He starts off in his prime because I don't know how much better you're going to get at 26 years old. Whereas you look at what Moritz Seider and Trevor Zegras have done. And then, so Zigras had 61 points in 75 games played. So 2 less points in 4 less games. That's damn good for a guy who's 19, 20, 21, somewhere in that range. And then you look at and who trailed off a little bit near the end, but was still very productive. You look at Moritz Seider, who had 50 points in 82 games played. And he was the first defenseman to score, first rookie defenseman to have 50 points. And I can't remember the stat off the top of my head, but he was also in the top 20 amongst all defensemen this season in points. He was 14th in the league in total time on the ice. His expected goals above replacement this season was 8.7, which was above Trevor Zegras's, who was a forward's 8.2, but below Michael Bunting's 12.6. But again, when you do have to take into fact that while, yes, Michael Bunting is a rookie, he's a rookie starting off in the prime of his career, playing between Mitch Marner and Austin Matthews. And I think that's going to end up being not a boon, but, what's the opposite of a boon? What's the word I'm looking for? A negative. Let's just say negative.
Boom
to
or
his
bust?
No, boon. B-O, whatever.
Oh, boon. Oh, yeah. Yeah, negative. Sure, yeah.
Yeah, sure. There's an actual word that usually goes with it, but I can't remember it. But yeah, that's going to be a negative towards his argument. And then with Trevor Zegras, I honestly, I feel like at that point, I'm okay with him being nominated as a finalist, but I feel like there's other rookies you could honestly put in that spot. I feel like that third spot is pretty interchangeable. When you look at the grand scope of what every player has done in this rookie season or this season as rookies, I mean, no one has done it more and no one has done it better than Moritz Seider. He's played even strength. He's played power play. He's played short-handed. He has done everything that the Red Wings have asked for him. He stepped up in the offensive play. He's been a huge, huge plus for the Red Wings in the defensive zone in a team where they have no other defensemen. So oftentimes he's playing, it seems like he's out there alone. This man has done it all as a 20-year-old. 21 now, but 20 when the season started. I don't see an argument for anyone else.
Yeah, and the age thing is certainly a factor. And, we were talking earlier in the season that Ned would not get a legitimate look at any rookie teams or awards or recognition or anything because he played so many games last year. But
he was a finalist last year, yeah.
Right, he was technically rookie eligible this year too. So I think that not quite being applied to him is kind of weird to me. But the biggest thing that I just want to drive home is that the age, it does matter a little bit, but in my eyes, it doesn't even matter. Moritz Seider, he could be 20. He could be the same age as Mo. I don't care. Moritz Seider should win it and win it unanimously. I understand that it absolutely will play a factor, and it probably will be a bigger reason why it's as much of a landslide as we think it's going to be to Mo. And if you had a dude who was 20 that put up a 60-point season, that would be great and whatever. But to me, he's the winner regardless of how old all of his competition is. He should win the award comfortably. He is easily the best player on the panel, and that's really all the award should come down to, and that's why he should still win it unanimously in my eyes.
Well, yeah, and then the final point too is it kind of goes back to something I was talking about earlier. Is nobody was given more responsibility on their team as a rookie than Moritz Seider was. I mean, yeah, Michael Bunting was playing first line minutes. Trevor Zegras was as well. So was Lucas Raymond, who you could make an argument. I'm not gonna throw a fit that Lucas Raymond wasn't named a finalist because again, the point is moot. It's going to be Moritz Seider. At the end, the rest, no one's going to remember the finalists. Anyone's going to remember who the champion is. So Lucas Raymond getting named finalist or not doesn't really matter to me.
Right.
But no one was given more
Agreed.
responsibility than Moritz Seider this season. Like, he was tasked with being the best defenseman on the team the moment he stepped on the ice. And he not only lived up to that expectation, but he exceeded it in every single role he was put in. That expectation wasn't on Trevor Zegras. That expectation wasn't on Michael Bunting. That expectation wasn't put on Lucas Raymond. These guys weren't told, and they're not necessarily told, but these guys weren't expected to step on the ice and become the best player at their position the moment they stepped on the ice. For Moritz Seider, it was. And that's why he's Rookie of the Year.
Speak on it, brother.
Actually, I'm done speaking on it. Today, I got to talk to you guys today about Built Bar. Imagine dipping your finger into that plastic
a Built Bar
tub.
banner.
I felt good about that read. I was like, this is going to be a good one. And then Scotty.
Now it's going to be a better one.
It's going to be a better one because there's a banner. Imagine dipping your finger into that plastic tub of birthday cake frosting and then opening your eyes and realizing that was only 150 calories and 16 grams of protein. That is what it's like to eat a birthday cake puff from Built. I just received my birthday cake puffs, and I have never had anything like this before. They're available right now, and we can't promise that they will be there tomorrow, so go get them today at Built.com. And if you haven't tried the puffs yet, I'll let you in on a little secret, because that's what friends do. A chocolate-covered marshmallow protein bar. Yeah, you heard me. Delicious flavored marshmallow covered in 100% real chocolate with 150 calories, 16 grams of protein, and 9 grams sugar. This limited time flavor is an amazing option if you are looking for a healthy way to get flavor and variety in your day. All Built puffs are covered in 100% real chocolate. That means that with Built, you can eat healthy and actually enjoy doing it. And they are made with collagen protein, which your body absorbs more efficiently and provides tons of health benefits. Go to Built.com and get birthday cake puffs right now. Go to Built.com, use promo code LOCKED15 and get 15% off your order. Use promo code LOCKED15 for 15% off at Built.com. Felt good about that one.
It was a good one, buddy.
All-timer, honestly.
It was a good one.
Thanks, buddy. Segment 2, Locked On Red Wings podcast. I think we should transition now. I think we said our piece on our Calder Finalists, why Moritz Seider deserves to win it. Let's transition now into finally starting our team grades. We've been kind of putting it off. Like we keep saying the last few days or the last few weeks even, since the season ended, we're like, when do we do the grades? When do we do the grades? We're like, we'll do it this week. And then we'll get a guest, and then they'll draft lottery, and then Barry Trotz was fired. So it's just more pressing news has kept coming out, pushing our grades back. But we will start it today.
Yeah, and we got all off season to get through them. So
yeah, so it's no rush. But since we are starting with a shortened show, because we did the first segment on Calder, it's easiest probably to start with goaltending, and that's where we will begin. I think most pressing, we should start with the guy who's probably going to get the highest grade and got most of the workload this season in Alexander Nidalkovich. Scotty, I want to hear from you first.
Oh, that's not my highest grade of the three, but
okay. Well, what grade and why do you give Alex Nedeljkovic whatever you give him?
Yeah, I'm giving Ned a B+. I think that he was phenomenal. There was a little bit of a stretch there in, I want to say, January, February, where where he started dipping. But it's and I know giving a goalie B+ and when there was like a month stretch of games where we were consistently giving up 6 goals is ridiculous. But my biggest thing with Ned was after the last game of the season, am I confident that he is part of the Detroit Red Wings plan in between the pipes going forward when we're competitive again? And the answer to that is yes. And that's really all that mattered to me. He had some incredible games. I'm not going to pin too much against him, given how atrocious the defense was all year and how much it struggled all year. This was really the debate for me was between a B or a B+. I don't think I really considered A range because, again, like it'd feel even weirder for me to give a dude like an A or an A- with
he just barely
with the goals against that we had. Yeah. But I think ending the season with a 900 save percentage behind this defense is nothing short of a miracle. So, like I said, biggest thing was just, do I feel confident that he can be part of the goaltender situation going forward when we want to be a playoff team again? And my answer to that is yes. So I'm giving him a B plus.
Yeah, I agree with your reasoning. My grade's a little lower. I'm just going to give him a solid B rather than a B plus. While I do agree on that, very little of the blame for how poorly that season ended is on Nidalkovich. He does, as a member of the team, share a part of that blame, however little it may be. And there were some games where Nidalkovich himself honestly looked really bad, really rough after that All-Star break.
Agreed.
But that also doesn't erase the whole first half of the season where he looked like a genuine stud. I mean, at one point, his save percentage was creeping up north of 920, closer to what it was with Carolina last year, all the while still playing behind that defense that is much worse than Carolina's. Eventually, I feel like, the increased workload of a full-length season began to wear on him because this is technically, he's still a rookie, guys.
Right.
Technically.
Full year, yeah.
So this is his first full year as a genuine starter. He started off as a 1A, 1B role with him and Thomas Greiss, but as Greiss continued to struggle, Nidalkovich took hold. And Nidalkovich was great for the greater part of the season. Now the wheels fell off, and again, most of that blame falls on the team around him, not giving him any support, but giving up 11 goals a game, giving up 10 goals a game, no matter how bad the defense in front of you is still, in my eyes, unacceptable no matter who you are on the team. It's a thing that the whole team has to bear, including goaltending. So that's why I'm giving him a B, because I don't put a lot of the blame on him. And like you said, Scotty, amidst all that, just terrible losing, he still was able to rise to the occasion and have a 40-save game against the Boston Bruins, only letting in one. He's still able to put on a 46-save shutout in Carolina, his former team.
Yes,
So
he was.
There were still multiple games where he was able to show up and show out despite the team that was in front of him and literally drag the Red Wings to victory. Because if you look at the charts, and we talked about it all season long, pulling up like game shot charts and Corsi maps, the games those Red Wings won when he was out playing like that, it wasn't close. The Red Wings are getting dominated in each and every one of those games. It was purely Alex Nedeljkovic. And so the fact that Alex Nedeljkovic is capable of putting the team on his shoulders and winning games like that is why he gets such high marks, despite a save percentage of only 900. In fact, like you said, Scotty, him having a 900 save percentage, a 901, almost 902, I believe it was, isn't a negative. It's insane that he has a 902 save percentage.
It's actually like weirdly impressive because of how bad the defense was. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like we were talking about the fact that he's still making over 90% of the saves regardless. Now, if you look at his goals saved above expected, it's not flattering. But again, I can't put too much of the blame from this season on Nedeljkovic's shoulders when you look at the team that was put on the ice around him, in front of him. It's not right to mark him down. And just like you, Scotty, I have confidence that next year, the better team, he'll be even better. And I have confidence that he is the starting goaltender for the Red Wings next season and the season after that. You know, once Sebastian Cossa is ready to come to the NHL, then we can have a debate. But I think he is a bona fide starting goaltender in this league.
100% agree.
Before we get to Thomas Greiss and Magnus Hellberg, let's do a quick little ad read because I don't want to have to interrupt our conversation halfway through. I'm going to knock betonline.net out, and then we can finish off the show.
Nice banner.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Our partners at BetOnline continue to be the number one source for all your betting needs and sports info. Find all of the latest odds, news, and sports developments, including this year's basketball playoffs, Major League Baseball scores, fights, and even next season's NFL futures. BetOnline is your continued source for all your sport wagering information, from live betting to playoffs, esports, and more. Head to the website today or use your mobile device to learn more about the trends and action. BetOnline, where the game starts. You know, the first time I did that read, Scotty, it said NLF futures, and I was really thrown off. I'm like, is there a league called NLF, or is that an NFL typo? So if you go back a few days, the first time I did that read, I say NLF, and I pause because I'm very visibly confused. But it's correct now, and they fixed it. So now I don't sound like an idiot. Well, I still sound like an idiot, but for different reasons.
Yeah. There you go.
All right, let's move on to the backup goaltender from the bulk of this season in Thomas Greiss. Scotty, I think this is probably going to be the most interesting goalie to grade out of the three because I don't know where your expectations for Thomas Greiss coming into the season were. So I don't know what kind of grade you would give him.
Right. Yeah, I gave him a C plus. I don't like, and I guess maybe we have to talk about our academic careers and talk about the fact that a C plus for me is like not bad at all.
That's what I'm thinking too. I'm surprised you gave him a grade that high.
Yeah, no, like I didn't expect too terribly much out of him. I mean, there was a point in the season where he was cleared from COVID and Ned was just still playing every night, including back to backs. So like, he's not going to get anything more than that. The reason that I'm giving him a C plus is because he was not an absolute liability for the most part when Ned needed a day off or when Ned was scheduled to have a day off or whatever. So he's gonna get, it was either a C or a C plus for me. I right there in the middle. I could really go with either one. I was, I guess, feeling a little positive in the moment, but either one of those grades I think is justifiable. Like wasn't what like I said wasn't a liability. There wasn't any point in the season where we were like, wow, like maybe we should just cut Thomas Greiss and he should just not be the backup goalie anymore and we should just get him out of here and not even wait his contract out. But there also was never a point in the season, even amidst the team's struggles, where we were like, oh, like Greiss should probably take over for Ned. So like, yeah, he gets like a C right there in the middle.
Wait, C or C plus? I think you said both at one point.
Well, I got C plus, I guess will be my final answer. But like I said, I could really give him either of those.
Interchangeable
And
for you.
yeah, very, very. It's like a 76.5% or a 77.5%. It's like right there on in between.
See, I actually disagree with that. It's rare we disagree on things. Normally we're on the same page, but I got to give him a D. I mean,
Really?
yeah, you look at, so I'm comparing what he did last year, what he was expected to this year. Last year he was in a 1A, 1B role with Jonathan Bernier. He played 34 games and he had a .912 save percentage. The second half of the year, he was strong. This season he came out, and again, it was supposed to be a 1A, 1B situation, but he did not play well throughout the entire season. He had moments here and there, but he finished the season with an .891 save percentage. And again, I know the defense, I can't, in all fairness, say blame Thomas Greiss for an .891 save percentage and then say when Nidalkovich has a .901 save percentage, just 10 points higher, like, oh, it's not his fault. Yeah, the defense was horrible in front of Thomas Greiss as well. But the fact that his save percentage dropped by nearly 20 points, 21 points in just one season is, not excusable in my opinion, especially when his workload was just 3 less games. Part of the reason why Thomas Greiss was getting less and less starts throughout the season and Nidalkovich was getting more and more was, one, because Nidalkovich was playing out of his mind for the first half of the season. But on the second half of the season, when the team was playing bad, Nidalkovich was still getting the bulk of the starts because Greiss, you put him in net, I felt he was a liability. I felt you put Thomas Greiss in net, you're going to give up 3 or 4 goals a game. And this isn't nothing personal, but just by observing his performance this year, I mean, it's pretty clear that this 36-year-old goaltender may not have much left in the tank, and that it's clear that the Red Wings are going to move on from him. And after the signing of Magnus Hellberg, that may have been part of the reason why they signed Magnus Hellberg, because Thomas Greiss wasn't performing. But then again, flip side, Halberg only played 1 game, so I'm still not really sure on why they signed him. But that's just speculation on my part. But I can't comfortably give, because I'm with you, a C is a decent grade. That's 70% or better, right? In school, that's what it is. A D is a barely passing grade. And that's what I feel like Thomas Greiss did this year. Barely passable backup goaltender.
Sure. I mean, I guess maybe that's just the difference between like you said, like I don't put as much of like to me, that is when we're getting blown out and net is in net. It's like, oh well, like the defense is horrible, and then if we're getting blown out and Greiss is in net, it's like, oh well, Greiss sucks. Like, I think that the defense was horrible no matter who was in net, and while I don't think that. I mean, again, like I gave him a C plus. Like I don't think he's blew it out of the water or anything. Um, I think that for the I think that when he was in the game, you thinking like, oh, this might be a higher scoring game is reasonable. But I think most people feel that when their backup is in and their starter isn't. And I don't think that that's necessarily like Thomas Greiss was just like absolutely putrid. It was just like, okay, like, yeah, the backup's playing tonight. Like maybe we expect a higher scoring game. And honestly, at one point in the season, like we both very well know, once like February, March hit, it was just a high scoring game every night, no matter who was in that.
Yeah, I mean, and that's why I try to compare this year's to last year's stats. I mean, he's only 1 year older. You telling me that 1 year difference is going to drop your save percentage by 21 whole points? I mean, this
For
was
sure.
the second worst year he has ever had as a goaltender. And really, honestly, the worst, because the only year he's had a worse save percentage in this year was his rookie season in 07-08, where he only played 3 games. This is the worst season he has had. And I know that, again, the defense was horrible in front of him, which is why I'm trying not to compare it to like Nidalkovich. What I'm trying to compare it to is how he did last year with a defensive core that was largely the same. I don't know if it would be even any better. Last year you didn't have Moritz Seider. Would you consider last year's defensive core better? I don't know if you can. So
No, probably not.
And I mean, obviously, a big part of the collapse is coaching, but he had a 912 save percentage that year, which was on track with what he's done his entire career. His career save percentage is it's a 912 save percentage. So he matched his career average last season, and this year he was the worst he's ever been, 21 points below, which is just honestly why I give him a D.
Sure.
Because it was markedly worse than what his career trajectory would suggest he should have been.
Sure. No, I mean that's totally fair. And again, like at the end of the day, we're
splitting hairs.
We're splitting hairs on a backup goalie that neither of us think or want back. So like
and we're both entitled to our own opinions, right?
It's not, it's not like he's not going to be playing here on opening night. Like and I don't think either of us want him to. So like whatever. But no, and honestly, I think. Like if you were to average out our 2 grades, I feel like that would be probably about the average letter
C
grade
of
like the fan base. I feel like the fan base would be around like that, like C minus, low C minus range. So like I don't think that I don't think we're too far off. It's really just a matter of like I said, like how low you thought his lows were, because like everybody on the team had some lows this season. So it's really just a matter of how the depths of his lows versus the depths of everyone else's, I think.
I mean, that being said, good luck to Thomas Greiss. I was really pumped when they signed him. I thought he was going to be a phenomenal 1B situation with Bernier. He was last season. I mean, Bernier and Greiss actually made a pretty solid tandem. So it's unfortunate how this year ended up for him, but I wish him luck. Hope he gets another shot with another organization. The final goaltender we got to talk about is not Calvin Pickard. Didn't really feel the need. We're going to talk about Magnus Hellberg, who played one very important game at the very end of the season.
Damn right.
Scotty, what's your Magnus Hellberg grade?
A+, highest on the staff. It's not particularly close either.
Best goalie the team's ever seen.
Yeah, did we lose a single game he was in net for?
He had a perfect win percentage.
He had a perfect win percentage. And on top of that, he had the coldest pads in the entire NHL. I'm not really sure what else you want. Is the save percentage incredible? It's not, jaw dropping, but at the end of the day, he was undefeated, and that's all you can really ask for.
Undefeated. Yeah, he had the best goals saved above expected as well, with a -0.8. So I mean, all the advanced metrics are on his side too. So he's clearly an A+.
Exactly. I mean, I agree. I gave him an A+ because he is an A+.
Alex Nedeljkovic, better watch yourself, man.
You better.
Halberg is shooting for your job.
You better.
But all right, Scotty. I mean, in all seriousness, I don't know if you can really assign a real grade to him.
Except an A+.
Except an A+. Correct. Yeah, in the comments, let us know your Magnus Hellberg grade. Actually, just in the comments, let us know all the grades you'd give the goaltenders. And next week, we'll bring you the offense and the defense and coaching staff and general manager grades. So make sure you stay tuned for that. Scotty, you got any final thoughts, man?
We ball.
We absolutely ball. Be back with a new episode on Monday. Same time, same place. It's your team.
BetOnline.
There it is. You've been slacking. You've forgotten a couple times this week.
You're right.
Every day.
Every day.